So let's start with a new project and go through the settings for setting up your project. If you tap up here on this icon, you will see your existing projects and the ability to create a new project by tapping on the plus button. You can give it a name here, and you can set the frame rate and the aspect ratio to your source footage. Now the default for like an iPhone is 30 frames per second at 16:9. But I used Filmic Pro and I overrode the frame rate to be 25p because I'm filming in Europe, and that just looks better because it eliminates light flicker. It also means it can go on television in this market without any transcoding. So 25 frames per second or whatever frame rate you've chosen. And aspect ratio, of course, 16:9, and just about everything else to widescreen to 360 to 1:1. So let's just go and create a new project. Here's where I'll put my clips. Here's where I'll see my movie. And here is where I select my shots. This is called the sources pane, and let's start up here. If you tap on the icon of the sources pane, you'll see that you can choose sources from photos, which of course include video clips, music from your iTunes library, a library of royalty-free music that's included with the LumaFusion app. Worth the price of admission alone, I think, because there are some really high-quality tracks there. Anything you've imported from, let's say, Filmic Pro or GoPro or anywhere else, Dropbox, and the ability to do titles and transitions. So transitions are also done in the source menu, and that can be a little bit confusing. To go back, because you usually expect it, in some of the other areas, but it's not. It's up here in sources, so just remember that for later. So let's start at the beginning and look at our clips. One other thing I want to show you before we go on is that under the settings menu, if you want to change your project settings, you just go to the gear here and you can alter those project settings. And now you see when you go in there, you've got even more controls for setting the ducking, which is an audio automatic leveling. If you've got like voiceover and music and you want to have the music go down in volume when someone's speaking, you can set those parameters here, and we'll show that in a later tutorial. You can also set the default background color to black, white, yellow, purple, whatever you like. We'll keep it black, very cinematic. Also into the gear, you've got global settings. Now this will affect every project that you create. So your default settings for new projects, for example, can be set here. How long do you want photos to remain on screen? The default is 10. I like to make it 5 seconds whenever I drop a photo onto the timeline. And your transition times and how long titles are held on screen.